Welcome back, everybody, to the best sports betting YouTube channel on the internet today, WagerTalk TV. I am Ross the Boss Benjamin of WagerTalk.com. It's currently Tuesday, the 11th of August. I got two NFL preseason winners for you on Thursday's card, which would be August the 13th, and it comes in games between the Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals, and also the Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders. Will the Detroit Lions be able to solve their backup quarterback issues after Teddy Bridgewater stepped away with an abrupt retirement this week? They brought in Joshua Dobbs, but is that going to be enough to overcome in such short notice against a Cincinnati Bengals team that the head coach, Zach Taylor, has indicated that a lot of his starters are going to play for at least a quarter? So is this number too high with Cincinnati being -7, or will the Lions be able to sneak inside that number or possibly pull the outright upset? Arizona and Las Vegas. And we're going to see the Arizona Cardinals will be playing in their second preseason game. And will that be an advantage when playing against a Las Vegas Raiders team playing in their first preseason game and with a new head coach? And that just seems to be an ongoing theme with the Raiders, as this will be their fourth new head coach in the last 4 years for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's hard to keep up continuity when you can't keep your head coach intact. All right, so I have those answers and much more coming up just real shortly, folks. If you have not subscribed to WagerTalk TV, take a second to do so. It's absolutely free, and you'll be privy to some of the best sports betting experts in all the world right here at WagerTalk TV. Also, if you don't want to miss an episode after you subscribe, hit that alert notification bell for WagerTalk TV, and you'll be notified upon any of our great content going up on our great channel. Be kind enough to give today's video a like, folks, as I put my best foot forward each and every time I appear here at WagerTalk TV to give you the best content, best information, and more times than not over the last 3 years, you've been on the winning side than on the losing side. So I should say many more times than not, you've been on the winning side instead of the losing side. Also, folks, let us know who you like on Thursday's NFL preseason card. Leave your comment or comments in the comments section, or your pick or picks in the comments section, I should say. And folks, don't forget, today is $5 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. And let me get that ad up for you right here. You see $5 Tuesday for all four sites in the WagerTalk umbrella: WagerTalk.com, picksandparleys.net, sportsmemo.com, and also winnersandwhiners.com as well. So take advantage of that, because I have a Major League Baseball. You see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen, I believe. Let's see here. Right. I have a $5 Tuesday Major League Baseball winning total for tonight. And I'm 34-21 with my last 55 totals in all sports, 62%, and up 32.23 units of net profit over those last 55 totals picks. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. And let me start by saying this, folks, before we get into the analysis on both games and the picks. NFL preseason, there's a lot of uncertainty, right? So I would always recommend to bet extremely conservative during the NFL preseason, because there's too many unknowns and it's not as predictable, or I should say, it's the handicapping process for us as professional sports handicappers becomes a lot different than it is during regular season action. Number one, a lot of what I look at is head coaching histories during a preseason. Number two is what I'm looking at, what teams are playing their starters or expected to play their starters, who is not, what the quarterback depth is on each team. And that's probably the most important, folks, because You want to look at quarterback depth because more times than not during the preseason, the starting quarterback is going to see very limited action. So you want to know if your backup quarterbacks are going to be able to perform for you and give you the best opportunity to win. So those are just some of the factors, folks. But the main point to take away from all of it is bet conservatively during the NFL preseason. What I usually recommend is do not exceed 25% of what you normally bet during regular season action. And even that might be a bit of a stretch. All right, let's get to the Detroit at Cincinnati game, 7 o'clock on Thursday, August 13th. Right now, as we speak, the Cincinnati Bengals are a 7-point favorite. And let me say this as well, folks. I am recording on Tuesday, August the 11th. So whenever, depending on when you view this video, these lines are subject to change. So keep that in mind. All right. So, this game opened at 3.5 with Cincinnati, obviously the favorite at 3.5. And then when the news came out that Zach Taylor was going to be playing his starters and the Lions backup quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater, the veteran quarterback for the Lions, stepped away and abruptly retired. And so this line spiked up to 7. And for an NFL preseason game, folks, this is a very high line. And then you look at the fact Zach Taylor, mentioned to you at the top about looking at head coaching history and preseason action. It tells you a lot. And the Cincinnati Bengals have gone 1-8 straight up in ATS in NFL preseason home games with Zach Taylor. Additionally, they've gone 0-4 straight up in ATS in their last 4 preseason openers, all with Zach Taylor as their head coach. So do you win all the time by looking at those? No, but it gives you an indication of what the head coach's attitude is toward preseason action. Now, keep in mind, Taylor has decided he's going to play his starters in this game, I would say at least for a quarter. So that certainly has a lot to do with what I mentioned, that line spike from 3.5 to 7. News out of Detroit is Dan Campbell is contemplating playing the starters as well to counter what Cincinnati's doing because he wants to, his reasoning is he may want to see how his starters fare up against other team starters, at least for a limited amount of time. Highly unusual for Campbell, who usually focuses in, at least early in the preseason, on evaluating the depth of his roster. But this might be a change here. I don't have confirmation of that, but that has been hinted when you look at some of the articles in the Detroit press and at the Detroit Lions website regarding this matchup. And again, this is a huge point spread by NFL preseason standards. And a preseason opener, any preseason opener that sees a team as a favorite of 6 or greater, they've gone 9-24 against the spread since 1985, 27.2%. Not only were they 9-24 against the spread, they only won 19 of those 33 games outright. So let me repeat that again. NFL preseason openers in which a team is favored by 6 or more, those favorites went 9-24 against the spread since 1985. So my point being is a lot of you would say, who cares what happened all the way back to 1985? It just shows you, number one, there's only been 33 times since 1985 a preseason favorite of 6 or more in a preseason opener has occurred, and they have not fared well in those situations. In NFL preseason favorites of 6 or greater in games 1 or 2 of the preseason, they've gone just 32-58 against the spread, 35.5% since 1995. So again, folks, I don't care what it looks like on paper. An old wise man once told me, one of my mentors when I was younger, that no team deserves to be a favorite of a touchdown or more during preseason action. Well, they do cover on occasion, but a very low percentile. I'm going to bank on that theory. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions +7 at the Cincinnati Bengals. By the way, Detroit brought in Joshua Dobbs and he's going to be their backup quarterback. How much he plays in this game is yet to be determined, but they could do a lot worse than Joshua Dobbs as their backup. But again, Dobbs just was added to the roster, and he has to learn the playbook. So I think they'll keep it pretty simple for him. But again, it's a big number, and I like Detroit +7 at Cincinnati. The Arizona Cardinals will travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders on Thursday evening. And the opening kickoff time is slated for 8 p.m. Eastern time. Right now, the Las Vegas Raiders are -1.5 point home favorite. The Raiders have a new coach in Clint Kubiak. He's now the fourth coach in the last 4 years for the Las Vegas Raiders. And when you have that lack of continuity, it shows up on the field. Now, I'm not to say that Kubiak won't do a great job, and he may be there for the next 20 years and be a very successful head coach. But having said that, there's still a transition period when you bring in a new coaching staff, and especially in the preseason. Now, Kubiak has indicated that the Raiders plan on playing their starters for a lot of preseason action. And he wants to establish some offensive continuity on that side of the ball. Also, just a continuity in competitiveness with the starters throughout the preseason to try to develop a winning attitude. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But, you know, they are looking at using rookie quarterback first rounder, former Heisman Trophy winner from last year, Francisco Mendoza out of Indiana. Kubiak has indicated that he will play a lot of snaps during the NFL preseason with veteran Kirk Cousins as their starter on the depth chart. And he's indicated as well that Cousins will be playing very limited action during preseason play. The Arizona Cardinals are coming off a last-second 33-30 loss to Carolina in the Hall of Fame game, in which a lot of folks are calling the best Hall of Fame game ever. And I don't know if that's the case, but I know in recent memory it certainly was for me. The Carolina Panthers scored a touchdown on the last play of regulation time to win that game 33-30, and then also cover as a 1.5 point favorite. However, their third and fourth string quarterbacks for Arizona were impressive. The combination of Carson Beck and Kedon Slovis, combined to go 24 for 29 passing, 82.8% completion rate, with a 294 yards passing combined between them, and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, each thrown for a touchdown. And the Arizona Cardinals in that opening preseason game, how about 425 yards of total offense and averaging 6.7 yards per play? And anytime you get an away underdog playing in game 2 of their preseason, and they're coming off a straight up an ATS loss in which they allowed 17 points or more, like Arizona did, and they're facing an opponent who's playing in their opening preseason game. They've gone 8-0-1 against the spread and won 7 of those 9 games straight up since 1990. And if you have been following the NFL preseason over the years, you know that teams playing in their second preseason game, and more times than not, they're coming off the Hall of Fame game when that occurs, especially in recent history, and they're playing a team in their opening game. The team who's playing their second game usually, I say usually, has the advantage over the team playing in game 1. I think that will be the case here today. And based on what I saw from the third and fourth string quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals last week, and the Cardinals' ability to move the ball offensively, I think they're going to give us a puncher's chance in this game. I like the Arizona Cardinals here, +1.5 at the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's get those 2 picks up again for you to see. The Lions +7 at the Bengals, and the Cardinals +1.5 over the Raiders on Thursday, that should read August the 13th, folks, not September the 13th. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so there you have it. Those are my two picks for Thursday, August the 13th in the NFL preseason action. Folks, couple friendly reminders here as well. Stay with me here for a second. And you'll see it's $5 Tuesday, which I've already mentioned. And then college football, $599 for the season for yours truly, Ross Benjamin. You'll get all my premium picks in college football throughout the regular season, throughout the conference championship games, throughout the bowl games, and throughout the playoffs, and right through the national championship game, including all 5% best bets. And you could see my records over the last three seasons. Cumulatively, over the last three seasons, I've gone a combined 182 and 120 with my college football premium picks at 60.3% and a net profit of plus 155.76 units. Folks, that's good for number one over the last three seasons at WagerTalk, with the last three college football seasons combined. Last year, even though I've had some great college football seasons over the last three seasons, I finished number two last year, yet it was my best season out of the three, as I went 53 and 31, 63.1% with my college football premium picks, plus 75.99 units. And you know what, folks? I also went 13 and 3 last season with my college football 5% best bets. I made 16 5% best bets in college football last year and hit 81% of those. And you can see number two in 2025, number one in 2024, number two in 2023. And when you combine the three seasons in college football, nobody has a better record or made more units than yours truly, Ross Benjamin, with 155.76 units earned. All right, other special I want you to take a look at here, folks, is the football combination package I have with Ben Burns. And you can get all of Ben Burns' NFL and my college football. And over the last three seasons, between Ben's NFL and my college football, we've made a net profit of 300.83 units. And that's outstanding, folks. And if you stop and think about it, if you're betting a minimum of just $100 a unit, you've made a net profit of $30,830 with us the last 3 years with my college football and Ben's NFL combined. So for $899, I don't know why you wouldn't consider investing in. If you're a bigger player, especially, folks, if you're a person who bets $200 a unit, you're talking over $61,000 of net profit over the last 3 years with us two. And also, if you're a $500 a unit player, which some of you out there are, you would have made over $161,000 of net profit over the last 3 years between my college football and Ben's NFL premium picks. So take advantage of that. Just $899 will get you squared away. And those picks include everything throughout the college football regular season, also the college football bowl games, also the college football playoffs, right through the national championship game. And also, folks, it'll get you the NFL right through the regular season playoffs and right through the Super Bowl as well. So take advantage of that offer. Until the next time, for Ross the Boss Benjamin and WagerTalk TV, take care and God bless, folks.